Alright, so if this video ends up getting over 60 likes, yeah, I'll say 60 likes, I'll go ahead and continue this series. You guys seem to have a lot of opinions when it comes down to me making character concept videos, and I really like your guys' opinions. So yeah, really popular series, so thank you guys for supporting it so much. So yeah, I'll continue it. If it gets over 60 likes, then I'll know you guys really want me to continue it. But yeah, so this card right here, Gilthunder, Gilia, Graham, Jericho, Hauser, that bunch needs cards in Grand Cross. They desperately need cards, and since Netmarble isn't doing them justice, I thought I'd go ahead and make a character concept for each of the characters. I do have ideas in mind, but again, if you guys like the series, go ahead and drop a like for this video, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, so very good card, I think. In my honest opinion, I do like this card. I don't know how you guys are gonna like it, but we'll see. Right, so this is Gilthunder, Alluring Lightning Guardian Gilthunder. He is a blue unit. Obviously, SSR goes to UR. These are his stats. His stats are decent. His attack is low, 4,826. His defense is fair, 3,472. And then his HP is high, right? It's on a higher scale, 56k. So very good. His substats. So his pierce rate is 56%. His resistance is 61%. Regeneration 3%. Crit chance 45% chance. Crit damage 154.5%. Crit resistance 50%. Crit defense 12. Recovery rate 105 and lifesteal 2%. So overall, fairly balanced substats. Again, this is not a festival unit, just in case anyone's wondering. He is not a festival unit. I'm going to go ahead and put that in the comments below too. He's not a festival unit. He is a regular banner unit. So keep that in mind. He is a regular banner unit. Maybe some sort of, like, I don't know, week where they're celebrating something fancy, right? Because obviously his outfit's really fancy. I really like this art. It's from Mobile Game Nights in the Pocket. So really good stuff right there. So then we'll go ahead and get into his skill 1. So his skill 1 is a Pierce card, which is why his Pierce is on the lower end, with which is 56%. Now for Pierce units, that's actually really high, because I think Rugal sports like 55 or somewhere around there. I'm not sure about Super Awakened, but I do know 56% is very high for Pierce units, especially AoE units. So yeah, it's a Pierce card. Lightning Beast Explosion does 1 combo, because if it did more than 1, it'd be broken. And then obviously, you know, 100% of attack on all enemies on rank 1, rank 2, 150, rank 3, 250%. So very strong card. He can be used in collaboration with Rugal or Blue Demon Meliodas or Lilia. You can potentially make a new mono blue team with him, since his pierce rate is high. Obviously, with Lilia next to him, making it even higher. And then with him with Lost Vein, it'd just be crazy. Or not Lost Vein, Blue Demon Meliodas. It'd just be crazy, because then you just have 2 blue Pierce units. The only thing cucking you would be Goddess Elizabeth, obviously, because Goddess Elizabeth's shield doesn't take any bonus damage. So yeah, you'd be cucked there, but otherwise you'd be sitting really good. The damage you do would actually be really good, because again, Gilthunder, or this Gilthunder, has higher pierce rate than even the Blue Demon Meliodas. So again, very good synergy. I like it a lot. I actually do like it. So that's his skill 1. His skill 2, Mesmerizing Thunder Flash, is a debuff, right? So it's similar to, actually it's the exact same card as Green Hendrickson and Red Gilthunder. Currently, Green Hendrickson and Red Gilthunder are legit the only 2 units in the game that have an AoE shock. So that's something to take into consideration. That's why I made a blue Gilthunder. Granted, it is another Gilthunder. Gilthunder's legit one of the only people in the series with like lightning abilities, like actual lightning magic. So yeah, that's why Gilthunder has shock. I don't know why Hendrickson has shock. I think they just gave it to him as a debuff just for King, but sure, right? So anyway, I gave him what Red Gilthunder has, which is an AoE shock. It's fairly low with the multiplier, but that makes sense because you don't want it to be too high. I think they could buff it a little bit, but again, shock is a damage over time effect, so I can see why they made it so low. So 86% rank 1, 129% rank 2, 215% at rank 3, and it does shock, and right there you see it. Shock does additional damage equal to 45% of damage dealt at the end of every turn. So very strong there. You take this with his pierce rate, although pierce rate doesn't really have much to do with it. Pierce rate does help it a lot because pierce rate is sort of like a fixed damage set thing. So if you have high pierce rate with a shock, it'd be really, really good to have. Also, he doesn't have bad attack, it's just low. So 4,826. This is without cosmetics. Obviously with cosmetics it'd be another story, but to do cosmetics would just be a whole plethora of things. So yeah, there you go. Also, you could make a HP, you could make actually an HP slash defense set with this character, just because he you know, HP would be good for him with his high HP, and also with his passive, which we'll get into in a second. But yeah, you could do attack and defense too. It's just up to you with pierce rate substats, obviously, but again, it's up to you. The shock really is just for his passive as well, which we're gonna get into, right? So debuff skill, shock, very good. His ultimate. So his ultimate is the exact same as the Red Gilthunder's, which is the Lightning King Sword, right? And then it does rupture damage on one enemy. Unfortunately, it is one enemy, but if it were AoE, it'd probably be too broken. So, well, I wouldn't even say broken. I'd say, actually, it would be fair, actually, now that I think about it, because then people who buff themselves would be in a really, really tight spot, right, with this ultimate. But unfortunately, it is single hitting target, so there you go. And then again, his combined attack, his fate with Gilia, is the lightning napalm, which is the same thing. Rupture, just a higher multiplier. And then you can see 6 out of 6, 1080. So good there. All right. So the bread and butter of every character concept card that I create, which is the passive. I will say this. I do think this is the best passive that I made out of the characters that I come up with so far, because it's very balanced. At least I think so. It's very balanced, and I do think it would make this character a lot better had they, you know, let's say Netmarble CM Gold looks at this video and takes Gilthunder, just straight up takes him, like plagiarizes it, right? I would be happy with it, honestly, but let's go ahead and get into it. So his passive, Lightning King's Grace, creates a barrier around all allies equal to 50% of HP at the start of battle. Now, I know what people are going to say already, 50% is high, but you have to remember 50%, right, of HP, if you make an HP and defense build, because you are going to have such high HP, right, the shield is going to be high as well. But again, it can be broken fairly easily because it's not Goddess Elizabeth's shield, right? So it does take bonus effect damage. So pierce cards, rupture cards, I don't know, any card that does bonus effects, right, charge, it'll break through the shield very, very easily. So keep that in mind as well. So 50% of HP at the start of battle applies when entering battle, which means you can't run him on the sub. Depletes all enemies' ultimate move gauge orbs by 1, and then also increases all of his stats by 8% when hero applies a debuff, limit of 1 time. So keep in mind, it's all of Gilthunder's, not his allies, Gilthunder's stats by 8%. So he'll have an increase to stats of 8%. Really, really good. He also rolls back ult by 1. I think making it a limit of once is very good. If I were to make it 3, that would mean he would have 24% increase to stats, or even 5 would be 40% to increase in stats, which would just be like insane. It'd be insanity. Plus with the ult depletion, I think 1 orb is fair enough, right? Again, he's just a regular banner unit, so it makes sense as to why, especially since they released Sariel and Tarmiel. Are you kidding me, right? To be honest, Sariel and Tarmiel are just crazy regular units, by the way. I understand you can't summon them on like part 1 or part 2 tickets, but they are still insane regular banner units. They're not festival units, so keep that in mind. This Gilthunder probably would fall into the same category, although he's not as strong as those two, I would say, because he is a pierce unit, but his passive is very, very good. Depletes all enemies' ultimate move gauge orbs by 1. I think, and then increasing his stats, I think it's really, really good. What is really going to make him shine is him creating a barrier around all allies equal to 50% of his own HP. I think that's going to be really, really good for him. The only counter, like hard body counter to him, might be Tarmiel, because I think Tarmiel decreases like the max HP of all enemies by 200% or something like that. It's actually like crazy. So then his shield is literally going to be nothing. It's going to be paper. Also, you have Sario, who has Power Strike, I believe it's called. The more resistance that you have on a unit, and he has some good resistance, 61% resistance. He'll break through the shield very easily. There's the train. He'll break through the shield very, very easily. So yeah, he does have weaknesses. He can still be debuffed. All allies on the team can still be debuffed unless some other ally has debuff immunity for allies, all right? But yeah, so he still has weaknesses. He's not crazy, but I think he's fair and balanced. I think he'd be a top tier blue unit because you could run him on a Pierce team. I mean, mainly his main team might just be Pierce, but I feel like you could also use him in other things, considering he also has Shock. You could use him on the King team because King and Hendrickson, they are very, very good. You can't remove the debuffs when you have 3 or more of the aforementioned debuffs that King provides, right? And Hendrickson, so very, very good. Poison, Shock, Bleed on a unit, and then Gilthunder is just there having a field day because they can't get rid of their debuffs. He's using his Pierce card. He's also creating a barrier around them equal to 50% of his HP. Really, really good right there. He has some good stats. I think all in all, he's a very, very good unit, and he's better than any other Gilthunders in the game right now because they just aren't cutting it. The red one sucks. The red one sucks, and then the green and blue SR one. The green one's still used on the back, so he can be used, but the blue one doesn't see any play. The red one sucks, right? I understand that he can still somewhat tank, but unless you really build him up, unless you're using him with a specific, like, not even a specific team, you just need to have him really built. And even then, there's so many counters to him. Sario can completely decimate the red Gilthunder now. There's so many counters to him. It's crazy. He can be debuffed. It's actually really, really crazy. But yeah. So the red one is unfortunately outdated, but this one I feel like he would see some play because no one really runs Red King in the back anymore. Goddess Elizabeth, people still do run Goddess Elizabeth, but since the one's out on JP, I feel like this would be a good counter to him as well. The Shock would provide an extra debuff, which is damage over time. So if you have like Blue Fairy King next to him, he can use his first skill and, completely like annihilate, mollywop the competition. I feel like this Gilthunder would be useful. I feel like he would be good. His ultimate might not be as useful, but that's fine. It's mainly just his passive and his skill 1 and 2. Overall, I would say he's S tier. You could probably put him at the lower end of A tier as well, but definitely not under A tier. I think S to A tier is where this Gilthunder would stand. Of course, as of this recording, right, in the future, of course, there's going to be more units that will overpower him. So, yeah. But for right now, S to A tier is where this Gilthunder stands. I love his art so much. Very, very cool art. He's so graceful, which is why I made all of his skills like somewhat of like mesmerizing. You got grace, you got alluring, just synonyms for the word beautiful or majestic or whatever, something of royal, you know what I mean, royalty. So really, really good there. But yeah, hopefully you guys did enjoy this character concept of Gilthunder. I think it's very, very good. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Do you think he's bad? Do you think he's good? I don't think he's broken, so there should be no reason why anyone calls him broken. But let me know what you guys think. I don't want to make him too strong too, because then he's still a regular banner unit, so keep that in mind. But yeah, with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, consider leaving a like, comment, and subscribe for more Grand Cross content. Also be sure to join our Discord. We would love to have you. But with that said, I will see you all in the next video.